everybody. Welcome to Black Americana. I'm Ashley and we are getting you ready for the Diddy trial. After months of speculation, we will see the United States case against Sean Combs. We will start in January 2023 and look at who Diddy was before his ex-girlfriend Cassie filed an explosive lawsuit against him. We will also look at key lawsuits that might be brought up in his criminal trial. So if you're ready, keep watching. Diddy gets off to a great start in 2023 as he is featured in a Super Bowl ad for Uber, which ends up being one of the favorite commercials from the weekend. Later that February, he rebrands his parent company Combs Enterprises as Combs Global, envisioning it to one day be the largest portfolio of leading Black-owned brands in the world. In March 2023, the media reveals he is seeking to buy BET, with Tyler Perry and Byron Allen also being in the running. He also starts filming a reality show with his children that is scheduled to stream on Hulu. While Diddy is looking towards the future, Cassie writes a book about her relationship with Diddy. Diddy attends the Met Gala on May 1st, 2023 with his girlfriend, who's not really his girlfriend, Young Miami. The theme for the night was a tribute to the late designer Karl Lagerfeld, and Diddy debuts Sean John Couture, declaring he was now setting his sights on high fashion. Later in May, Diddy partnered with DJ Khaled to announce Diddy Direct. The platform facilitated retailers and consumers directly purchasing from his liquor portfolio of Ciroc vodka and daily owned tequila. This prospect sounded promising, but things quickly spun out of control when Diddy sued Diageo, the British company that held controlling ownership of his liquor brands. He claimed that Diageo sabotaged his liquors since they were a black brand and only marketed them to urban communities, while the company poured millions into promoting white-owned brands like Casamigos. He claimed he complained to Diageo about his treatment for years and stated Diageo had proven unwilling to treat its black partners equally. He plans to file a follow-up lawsuit to recover, quote, billions of dollars in damages due to Diageo's neglect and breaches. Diageo released a statement saying, "We are disappointed our efforts to resolve this business dispute amicably have been ignored and that Mr. Combs has chosen to damage a productive and valued partnership. While we respect Mr. Combs as an artist and entrepreneur, his allegations lack merit and we are confident the facts will show that he has been treated fairly." The public was shocked to find out Diddy lacked so little control over his liquor brands as they were held as a leading example of black entrepreneurship. Things got even crazier on June 4th, 2023. So to set this up, Diddy claims 7 children. Justin with his ex-girlfriend Misa Hilton, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah with his late longtime partner Kim Porter, Chance with Sarah Chapman, and Love with Dana Tran. Over the years, he claimed to have adopted Kim Porter's oldest son, Quincy, who she shared with R&B singer Al B. Sure. While Diddy never legally adopted Quincy, Diddy considers him the oldest of the bunch. Ironically, Quincy and his biological father share the same birthday, June 4th. The two have had a difficult relationship, underscored by the fact Al and Diddy were once rivals. If you want more insight into this dynamic, be sure to check out our video, The Kim Porter Story, a visual biography. In 2022, Al suffered organ failure and confirms he thinks Diddy might have played a role in his mysterious illness.
Bunch of stuff. So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned?
But in 2023, Al and Quincy were on good terms and celebrated their birthdays together at a bowling alley. Justin and Christian came to celebrate as well, and many of their followers on social media joked that the boys seemed more comfortable with Al than they did with Diddy. Shortly after the party ended, Justin was arrested for a misdemeanor DUI. Attention quickly diverted to Diddy after Justin's mother, Misa, erupted on Instagram. She blamed Diddy for Justin's arrest, leading some to wonder if Diddy retaliated against Justin for socializing with Al. In a series of Instagram stories, she said, "I'm not with none of that reality TV-ish. When is enough enough? Yeah, okay. I'm not protecting no one anymore. Just my son." She continued, "And all the children. I love a come to Jesus moment." The statement, "a fish rots from the head down," means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free. She then referenced Diddy's new song, Act Bad, saying, "Act bad? Act bad. Bad boy. I used to want to be a bad girl. I chose to be a queen, tried and true. I'm not perfect, but I am intentional." She even revisited the controversy when Justin was a member of UCLA's football team, which led to Diddy being arrested for hitting a coach. She said, "I should have kept my child with me. F UCLA too. Everybody can get it." She went on to say, "How you go from one of the greatest to ever do it to making all your money off alcohol and suing the dang alcohol company? Sell something healthy that builds people up. I'm sick of it. Not mine." Misa also addressed Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff, saying, "And Christina, if you ever try to handle me again, I will go straight across your head. Stay out the way. You are a nice person. Everyone is tough until it's time to be tough." She closed with, "Everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me when we all know whose fault it would be?" Diddy seemed unfazed with Misa's concerns publicly, but he was having other problems privately. According to reports, Cassie was in contact with Christina about a settlement. Diddy considered the proposal extortion, but he was concerned her claims might become public. On June 27, 2023, Diageo announced the end of its 15-year partnership with Diddy. The company released a statement saying Diddy had, quote, "repeatedly undermined our partnerships and threatened to publicly defame Diageo if we did not meet his unreasonable financial demands." Diageo also claimed they had invested over $100 million to grow his De Leon tequila, while Diddy only put up $1,000. Diddy's team fired back, saying that Diageo ended the partnership to deflect from the claims of racism and that Diddy was prepared to proceed with the lawsuit. With an onslaught of bad press and a brewing lawsuit from Cassie, Diddy went on a PR tour. He launched Empower Global, which was meant to be a digital Black Wall Street. Diddy invested $20 million to feature 70 Black-owned brands selling items like artwork, beauty products, and clothing. But shortly afterwards, he suffered a devastating business blow. Cresco Labs, a cannabis wholesaler, and Columbia Care, a cannabis dispensary, agreed to merge and sell their Illinois, Massachusetts, and New York state assets to Combs Enterprises. Cresco Labs and Columbia Care canceled the sale in July 2023, with Cresco saying the deal was not in the best interest of their shareholders. According to Black Enterprise, this distorted Diddy's intention of becoming the country's first Black-owned and operated, vertically integrated, multi-state cannabis operator. If the deal had gone through, it would have been worth an estimated $185 million. He was the headliner for Earn Your Leisure's InvestFest that August and spoke candidly for the first time about the Diageo lawsuit. He said he was not only fighting for his fortune, but also to change the treatment of Black businesses.
And so 15 years later, even though I had that success, I was always fighting for Ciroc not to be pigeonholed, not to be pigeonholed as a black brand, not to be pigeonholed as an urban brand. I already went through that. I went through that with Sean John. They put me in the urban section. I had to go and disrupt the fashion industry, pull up on Fashion Week, and show them what that black excellence swag is about. And that's what we did with Sean John. And so with Ciroc, it was the same thing, getting into the spirits industry. No matter what industry I went into, I always came up against this ceiling that they just wanted to keep me in the colored section. I would say for businesses, you have white-only business, just like you have white-only bathrooms back in the days, and you have black-only business. And so my fight is to always make sure that we could just do business. I want to be treated equally like anybody else. And so that's what the fight is about. And it's not me just fighting for me. I'm fighting for us. Because whatever bar I set, y'all have to come behind me on that bar, and I want to make sure that it's right. So that's what the fight is about, simply put.
He made good on a promise of $1 million donation to Jackson State University's football program. He also announced he was returning publishing to past artists on his Bad Boy Records roster, but the reversion came with caveats such as they could not disparage Diddy. That September, a judge granted Diddy's request that the Diageo dispute be handled in a public trial rather than a mediation, which was a huge win for Diddy. Yet, this period continued to be a seesaw of wins and losses. The proposed sale of BET was scrapped by its parent company, Paramount Global. Diddy proposed that Tyler Perry and Byron Allen partner with him to expand his network Revolt TV instead. Also that month, he was gearing up to release his 5th studio album, The Love Album, Off the Grid. In a September 12, 2023 profile in the New York Times, he revealed that the combination of losing Kim Porter and his mentor Andre Harrell in turning 50 led him to a deep depression. He revealed, "I actually locked myself in my room for like a year and a half, in my bathroom. I wasn't talking to my kids. I wasn't talking to nobody." He stated he coped by going to therapy and using psychedelic toad venom, which is a hallucinogenic. His 6 oldest children, along with his mother Janice, were on hand to honor him with the Global Icon Award at the MCV Video Music Awards. Christian, Jesse, and Delilah joined him on stage, while Chance presented him with the trophy alongside Mary J. Blige. And on the day the album was released, he was presented the key to New York City. But the warmth of the new era began to frost when Dwayne Davis, more so known as Keefe D, was arrested for the unaliving of Tupac Shakur. Keefe D stated in multiple interviews over the years he orchestrated the act because Diddy was offering $1 million to end Tupac, but that Diddy never made good on the offer. Although Diddy did not graduate from Howard University, he was once amongst their most cherished alumni. He donated $1 million to the school during their 2023 homecoming, adding to his years of generosity towards his alma mater. Diddy headed overseas to promote his new album, but something seemed off. He appeared on the Graham Norton show with glazed eyes and slurred speech. I won't post clips here due to copyright, but if you watch for yourself, you can tell Brother Love was in a bad way. While he was in London, he appeared at a charity concert with his former artist, Shine. Shine served a decade in an American prison after being convicted in connection to a nightclub ruckus that also involved Diddy. Many believe Sean took the fall for Diddy, and perhaps this was another attempt by Diddy to soften his image. But back home, Diageo scored a victory when they were granted a stay in Diddy's suit against them on November 15, 2023, yet nothing compared to what came the next day. On November 16, 2023, Cassie filed a lawsuit alleging she experienced DV and various forms of coercion during her time as Diddy's girlfriend and employee. She alleged he plied her with illicit substances and used physical force to make her participate in freak-offs, where she would have intercourse with male escorts while Diddy watched. Diddy's attorney, Ben Brofman, responded to the allegations, saying, quote, Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Ms. Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. The lawsuit became a media frenzy, and by the next day, Diddy settled with Cassie for $20 million. In the following weeks, Diddy was hit with a slew of lawsuits. On November 24, 2023, Macy's announced it would no longer sell Sean John clothing. 4 days later, Diddy stepped down as chairman of Revolt TV. That same day, Capital Preparatory Harlem, the charter school Diddy founded, severed ties with him. On December 6, 2023, Diddy issued a statement saying, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to ruin my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." The denial didn't stop the fallout. More than a dozen brands ended their relationship with Empower Global, which has since ceased operations altogether. On December 13, 2023, it was reported in the press Hulu canceled his family reality show. Diddy started 2024 by withdrawing his lawsuit against Diageo. In a joint statement, Diddy and Diageo said, Sean Combs and Diageo have now agreed to resolve all disputes between them. Mr. Combs has withdrawn all of his allegations about Diageo and will voluntarily dismiss lawsuits against Diageo with prejudice, which means Diddy cannot file the claims again. It was later revealed in Diageo's quarterly report that Diddy sold his shares in the company for $200 million. Then on March 25, 2024, Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami homes were raided by the Department of Homeland Security. Diddy's sons Justin and Christian were at his Los Angeles home and were detained by DHS but were not arrested. Many agents arrived by boat at his Miami home because it is located on the lavish Star Island. Diddy was in Miami preparing to take an overseas trip on his private jet when he and his entourage were stopped. While Diddy was allowed to go, Brendan Paul, who was identified in a lawsuit from Rodney Lil Rod Jones as Diddy's mule, was arrested for substance possession. The next day, Diddy sold his stake in Revolt TV. On April 2, 2024, Misa released footage of the raid and accused authorities of being aggressive towards Justin and Christian. Diddy's family tries to control the narrative on Mother's Day 2024 as they were seen out enjoying a boat ride. That night, Christian released a song called Pick a Side, where he told people to either show loyalty to his father or be dismissed. Well, within days, many stepped off the Diddy bandwagon. CNN released footage of Diddy beating Cassie in a hotel hallway in 2016. Not only was the footage disturbing, but it lined up with accusations from her lawsuit. The statute of limitations had run under California state law to prosecute Diddy, prompting many to push for the feds to step in. Diddy issued a solemn apology 2 days after the footage was leaked. A couple of days later, Misa Hilton released a statement on the Cassie video and Diddy's children saying, "I am heartbroken that Cassie must relive the horror of her mistreatment, and my heart goes out to her. I know exactly how she feels, and through my empathy, it has triggered my own trauma. These young people were raised by women that want the best for them. We put God and education first and have always been united in our mutual effort to support their dreams. 2 of the youngest do not have their mother here, and it has been our duty to support them. Their father needs help, and I am praying that he truly does the personal work and receives it. Just a week later, Rolling Stone released an extensive expose on Diddy, introducing more accusations of his horrific behavior to millions. Diddy's time at Howard University was one of the sticking points of the Rolling Stone piece. On June 7th, Howard announced it was revoking Diddy's honorary degree and returning his $1 million donation from the previous year. The school also ended the pledge agreement it had with him. The city of New York revoked its key to Diddy, and the city of Miami rescinded its Sean Diddy Combs Day. In another PR blow, Kim Porter's father, Jake Porter, denounced Diddy's behavior. In reference to the Cassie video, he told Rolling Stone, "You can say I was disgusted with the video and I wouldn't treat my enemy like that. It was despicable. I couldn't believe it. I was in Vietnam and I wouldn't do that to my enemy." On September 12th, a sealed indictment was filed against Diddy in the United States Southern District of New York. He was in New York City already in anticipation of being arrested, but he was hoping to be allowed to turn himself in. Instead, Homeland Security arrested him on September 16th at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Manhattan. His indictment was unsealed the next day during his arraignment. During a press conference, then United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, revealed law enforcement recovered over 1,000 bottles of baby oil during the raid. The indictment listed a victim 1, whose allegations are nearly identical to Cassie's lawsuit and included 3 counts. He was charged with racketeering conspiracy, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, which also has a maximum sentence of life in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison, and transportation to engage in prostitution, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison. He was denied bail, with the judge deeming him a flight risk and citing that a pink powder substance was found in his hotel when he was arrested. During this time, we are introduced to Diddy's legal team. The lead counsel is Mark Agnifilio, who specializes in cases regarding organized crime in New York. The second chair is Tina Garagos, whose father is celebrity attorney Mark Garagos. She is a founding partner in Mark Agnifilio's law firm. Diddy sought bail a second time, this time in front of Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr. Judge Carter, who was appointed to the bench by President Barack Obama in 2011, was assigned as the case's trial judge. Diddy proposed a $50 million bail package, but Judge Carter denied him bail, stating that Diddy was a danger to the community and posed the risk of witness tampering. Once Diddy was incarcerated, a book said to be Kim Porter's memoir became a bestseller on Amazon. On September 24th, Kim Porter's children Quincy, Christian, Delilah, and Jesse released a statement via Instagram denouncing the book, saying, "Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interests at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed. While it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile how she could be taken from us too soon, the cause of her passing has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process, and we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day." A few days later, the Daily Mail released an interview with Kim Porter's father, Jake, saying, "Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, I guess, but the truth will come out." He went on to say the investigation into Kim's passing was, quote, "a load of crap," but he stopped short of calling for a new investigation. On October 3rd, Judge Carter recused himself from the case, citing an undisclosed conflict. He was replaced by Aaron Supermanian, who was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2023. On the civil side, Houston-based attorney Tony Busby announced he would be filing dozens of lawsuits against Diddy, with one of his accusers claiming to be as young as 9 when one of the alleged crimes occurred. After months of silence, Janice Combs released a statement through her attorney saying, "I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies. To bear witness what seems to be like a public lynching of my son before he has had the opportunity to prove his innocence is a pain too unbearable to put into words. Like every human being, my son deserves to have his day in court, to finally share his side and to prove his innocence." Diddy quickly added Anna Maria Esteval, Alexandra A.E. Shapiro, and Jason Driscoll, all of whom specialize in defending white-collar crime, to his legal team. On October 22nd, Diddy's 6 oldest children released a statement via Quincy's Instagram defending Diddy, saying, "The past month has devastated our family. Many have judged both him and us based on accusations, conspiracy theories, and false narratives that have spiraled into absurdity on social media. We stand united, supporting you every step of the way. We hold on to the truth, knowing it will prevail, and nothing will break the strength of our family. We miss you and love you, Dad." On November 27th, Diddy was denied bail for a 3rd time and later withdrew further requests. Damian Williams, lead prosecutor in Diddy's case, resigned on December 13th. 4 days later, Brendan Paul had his charges dropped. One of the most disturbing lawsuits against Diddy came from Brianna Bungolan, also known as Banna. She is a photographer in Los Angeles and a friend of Cassie's. She states Cassie invited her and her partner to stay at her condo, which they accepted. She claims Diddy then stormed Cassie's condo in a rage. As Diddy and Banna had a verbal exchange, she alleges he dangled her over a 17-story balcony. Well, the feds were keeping up with the civil claims against Diddy. On June 30th, 2025, he was hit with a superseding indictment. While he did not receive any additional counts, the timeline of the alleged crimes was expanded from 2004 to 2024. Accusers known as Victim 2 and Victim 3 were added and included accusations that mirror Banna's balcony account. The next month, Diddy's attorney Anthony Rico filed a motion to withdraw from the case without publicly confirming his reasons. On March 6th, a federal grand jury came down with a second superseding indictment. It was another expansion of the racketeering charge, accusing Diddy of being the mastermind of a criminal enterprise who intimidated employees into working long hours and threatened them until they were complicit. Days later, Christina Coram, Diddy's chief of staff and who he called his right hand, broke her silence, saying in part, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family." On April 3rd, Diddy was hit with a 3rd superseding indictment. He received 2 additional charges related to trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution, now bringing his charges to 5 counts. As Diddy prepared for trial, he added 3 more lawyers. Brian Steele, most known for representing Young Thug in his RICO case against the state of Georgia, joined the legal team. Xavier R. Donaldson, a prosecutor turned defense attorney, was also added to his defense, along with Nicole Westmoreland. Diddy has confirmed he rejected a plea deal offered by the prosecution. Now, for Diddy's defensive strategy, he plans to acknowledge he is a swinger, but that inviting a third party into his bedroom was consensual. His attorney also might argue he had a diminished mental capacity during many of the alleged crimes. The trial is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks, and despite the high profile of the case, the jury will not be sequestered. Thank you for spending your time with us. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also, be sure to visit our Substack at blackamericana.substack.com to sign up for our newsletter. See you soon.